ever felt? Like if you just think the right thought, or tap the table a certain number of times, you can stop something bad from happening. Or maybe you believe a specific song on the radio is a secret message just for you, predicting your day. If any of this sounds familiar, you've experienced what psychologists call magical thinking. It's the belief that your private thoughts, words or actions can influence events in the external world, even when there's no logical connection between them. It's like believing you can make it rain by washing your car. We all do it from time to time, like when we wear our lucky socks for a big game. But what happens when this kind of thinking stops being a fun little quirk and starts taking over your life? That's what we're going to explore today, the deep connection between magical thinking and our mental health. We'll look at why it happens, the toll it can take, and most importantly, the path toward reclaiming your peace of mind. So, why do our brains even go there? At its core, magical thinking is a coping mechanism. The world can feel chaotic, random, and terrifyingly unpredictable. Our brains, however, hate uncertainty. We are hardwired to seek control, to find order in the chaos. Magical thinking offers a sense of that control, even if it's just an illusion. When you're facing a stressful situation, like waiting for medical test results or a job, often your mind might latch onto a ritual. Maybe it's telling yourself, if I see 3 red cars in a row, everything will be okay. This ritual gives you something to do an action to perform that feels connected to the outcome. It provides a temporary sense of agency in a situation where you feel completely powerless. It's a way of drawing a line between 2 unrelated points, creating a map in a world that feels unnavigable. This isn't a flaw in your character. It's a testament to how desperately your mind is trying to protect you and keep you safe in the face of overwhelming anxiety. Where does this type of thinking really come from? For many, it's deeply intertwined with anxiety, and especially obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD. In OCD, magical thinking isn't just a passing thought. It's a powerful and distressing engine. An individual might have an intrusive, unwanted thought, like picturing a loved one getting hurt. The anxiety from this thought is so intense that the brain creates a rule. If I do unperform this specific ritual, that bad thought will come true. The ritual could be anything: checking the locks 10 times, arranging objects perfectly, or repeating a certain phrase. Performing the ritual provides a brief moment of relief from the anxiety, which unfortunately reinforces the belief that the ritual itself is what prevented the bad event. This creates a vicious cycle. The more you rely on the ritual to ease your anxiety, the stronger the connection becomes in your brain, and the more you believe in its magical power. It's a trap baited with relief, but one that ultimately deepens the anxiety over time. Another reason our brains are so susceptible to this is a phenomenon called VET, as a fancy word for our brain's natural tendency to see patterns and connections in random, meaningless data. Have you ever seen a face in the clouds or a shape in the static of an old TV screen? That's apophenia at work. Our brains are pattern recognition machines. It was a useful survival skill for our ancestors. Recognizing the pattern of a predator hiding in the bushes could save your life. But this same mechanism can go into overdrive. It might lead you to believe that because you had a bad thought, then tripped on the sidewalk, the thought caused you to trip. The brain links the 2 unrelated events, creating a false cause and effect relationship. It's trying to make sense of the world, but in its effort to connect the dots, it sometimes draws lines that simply aren't there, turning coincidences into cosmic signs and random occurrences into deeply personal messages. Living with severe magical thinking is exhausting. It's a full-time job that you never get to clock out from. Imagine the constant mental energy it takes to monitor your thoughts, to scan your environment for signs, and to perform complex, often time-consuming rituals. This isn't just a mental strain, it's an emotional one. There's a profound sense of responsibility. You feel like the safety and well-being of yourself and your loved ones rests entirely on your shoulders, on your ability to perfectly execute these mental gymnastics. If something bad does happen, the guilt can be crushing. You inevitably blame yourself, thinking that I didn't do the ritual right, or I had a negative thought and made this happen. This can lead to intense shame and secrecy. People often hide their rituals because they know, on some level, that they don't make logical sense, leading to feelings of isolation. This constant state of high alert the burden of false responsibility, and the shame of it all can wear you down, leading to depression, burnout, and a life that feels smaller and smaller as you try to avoid any potential trigger. But here is the most important part of our conversation today. There is a clear and effective path to healing. You do not have to live under the weight of magical thinking forever. One of the most powerful tools is cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT helps you identify these magical thoughts, challenge them, and reframe them in a more realistic way. A therapist helps you become a detective of your own mind, looking for the evidence. Does thinking about a red car actually have the power to change a medical diagnosis? By gently questioning these beliefs, you begin to loosen their grip. For those with OCD, a specific type of CBT, called exposure and response prevention, or ERP, is the gold standard. ERP involves gradually and safely facing the situations that trigger your obsessive thoughts, the exposure without performing the compulsive ritual that usually follows the response prevention. It's tough, but it's incredibly effective. It retrains your brain to understand that the bad thing you fear won't happen, even if you don't do the ritual. Your brain learns to tolerate the anxiety, and over time the anxiety itself fades. Alongside therapy, practicing mindfulness can be a game changer. Mindfulness teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment. Instead of getting tangled up in a magical thought and immediately reacting to it, you can learn to see it for what it is, just a thought. You can acknowledge it, label it. There's that magical thought again, and then let it pass by like a cloud in the sky. You don't have to engage with it, argue with it, or perform a ritual because of it. It's about creating a little bit of space between you and your thoughts. This space gives you the power to choose how you respond, rather than being automatically driven by anxiety. Mindfulness helps you anchor yourself in the present moment, in reality, rather than getting lost in the what-ifs and frightening fantasies that magical thinking creates. It's about learning that you are the observer of your thoughts, not the thoughts themselves. If you're struggling with this, please hear this message of hope. 2. You are not broken, you are not crazy, and you are not alone. Your mind is trying to protect you in the only way it knows how, but there are better, healthier ways to manage fear and uncertainty. Recovery is not about never having a weird or magical thought again. It's about not letting those thoughts control your life. It's about rebuilding trust in reality and, most importantly, in yourself. Reaching out to a mental health professional who specializes in anxiety or OCD is a brave and powerful first step. It's an act of self-compassion. The journey might have its challenges, but with the right support and tools, you can break free from the cycle. You can learn to live a life guided not by fear and ritual, but by your own values, your own choices, and a genuine sense of peace. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that help is available. You can find resources through organizations like the National Alliance on Mental Illness or the International OCD Foundation. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep dive today. If this video was helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing for more content on mental health and psychology. Take care, and be kind to your mind.